I never planned to crash that family barbecue just to rub their noses in my success. No. I showed up because after years of being treated like an afterthought, I figured it was time they saw what I'd built from the scraps they tossed my way. But looking back, it wasn't about revenge, not really. It was about closure. And maybe, deep down, a chance to heal. My name is Emily Hayes. And at 28, I run high-stakes investment strategies for Pacific Ventures in San Francisco. The kind of job where one good call can make or break fortunes. But my story doesn't start in a sleek office overlooking the bay. It kicks off in a dusty ranch-style house on the outskirts of Bakersfield, California, where the sun beats down like it has a grudge. And being the youngest meant getting the short end of the stick every time. I was the surprise kid. The one who showed up 7 years after my folks thought they'd wrapped up the family album. By then, Dad was knee-deep in managing his auto repair shop, and Mom was juggling part-time shifts at the local diner. They'd poured everything into my older siblings, Ryan, the star quarterback with dreams of going pro, Lauren, the budding actress who needed headshots and drama classes, and Sophia, who was still the baby, even after I arrived, getting all the coddling. Me? I got the leftovers. Hand-me-down jeans that sagged at the knees, a bedroom that was basically a converted laundry room, and birthday cakes from the grocery store, while Ryan got a blowout party with half the high school invited. Growing up in the Central Valley, life was all about hard work and making ends meet. Oil fields dotted the horizon, and summers hit 110 degrees, turning everything into a haze. My family wasn't poor, but they acted like resources were as scarce as rain in July. Emily can ride the school bus, they'd say when Ryan needed the truck for football practice. She's tough, she gets it. And I did get it, loud and clear. I was the invisible one, the kid who faded into the background while everyone else shone. It wasn't malice, it was exhaustion. They'd given their best to the first 3, and by the time I rolled around, the tank was empty. But those slights? They piled up like tumbleweeds against a fence. Forgotten pickups after school. Missed soccer games because Lauren had an audition. When Ryan aced his SATs, they threw a backyard bash with catered tacos and a mariachi band. My straight-A report card? A quick good job, kiddo, over dinner. Then back to talking about Sophia's dance recital. I learned early that if I wanted attention, I'd have to earn it twice as hard. And love, that was a commodity doled out in uneven shares. Ryan got the pats on the back, Lauren the encouragement, Sophia the hugs. Me? I got independence, whether I wanted it or not. The turning point came at 16, when I landed a job flipping burgers at the In-N-Out down the highway. The manager, a no-nonsense guy named Hank, hired me on the spot after I told him I could handle the rush. Minimum wage in California back then was a lifeline $8 an hour, socked away in a secret savings account at the credit union. While my siblings got allowances and gas money, I mopped floors and dealt with cranky truckers until closing. It hurt, watching Ryan cruise off in Dad's old Ford while I biked home in the dark. But it lit a fire in me. No more begging for rides or handouts. If they wouldn't invest in me, I'd invest in myself. Senior year hit like a dust storm. I got into UC Davis with a partial scholarship for business, solid program, close enough to commute if needed. But I'd still need about $12,000 a year for the rest. I sat my parents down at the kitchen table, acceptance letter in hand. This could be my ticket out, I said, heart pounding. They exchanged that look, the one that meant disappointment wrapped in practicality. Ink. We're stretched thin, Dad said, rubbing his temples. Ryan's got grad school loans. Lauren needs help with her acting portfolio. And Sophia's braces aren't cheap. Mom nodded. Community college might be smarter for now. Bakersfield College is great. That night, I overheard them planning Sophia's Sweet 16, a blowout at the community center, complete with a DJ and photo booth. Cost? Easily $4,000. While my future hung in the balance, I didn't cry. Instead, I called Aunt Margaret, Mom's estranged sister who'd moved to Seattle after a family fallout no one talked about. She was the black sheep, successful in tech, but cut off for being too ambitious. Her voice was sharp but warm when she picked up. So, Karen's kid needs a hand.
Huh.
And I'm betting she doesn't know you're calling. I laid it out, the scholarship, the gap, the family's priorities. She paused. Then deal. I'll cover it all.
No strings. No payback.
But promise me one thing. Don't let their small-mindedness clip your wings. Fly higher than they ever dreamed. 2 weeks later,
Her check arrived.
I told my parents I'd figured it out with scholarships and loans. They barely blinked. That's great.
Eminencia. Hey.
Ryan, tell us about that internship. But the hits kept coming. Ryan got a new Chevy Silverado for finishing his undergrad shiny. Lifted. Perfect for hauling gear to job sites. I watched him peel out of the driveway, then turned to Dad. Since he's upgrading, could I use his old pickup? Just for campus runs. He chuckled.
Nah.
We're selling it for parts. Besides, the bus is reliable. Builds grit. Ryan smirked from the window. Yeah, wouldn't want you getting lazy.
Sis.
I stood there in the baking sun, Aunt Margaret's check burning a hole in my pocket, and forced a smile. They had no idea. And that secrecy? It became my armor. The Greyhound from Bakersfield to Davis was a 2-hour grind each way, rattling over highways lined with almond orchards and oil derricks. I'd snag a window seat, bury myself in textbooks, and ignore the ache in my back. Classes all day, then shifts at a campus coffee shop until close.
Study till midnight.
Rinse. Repeat. It was brutal, but it forged me. The shop owner, Bill Thompson, was a retired stockbroker who'd traded Wall Street for a quieter life in wine country. He caught me poring over finance notes one slow shift. What's that?
Kid?
Options trading. Our chats became lessons, real-world stuff on markets. Psychology. Turning underdogs into winners. You waiting for a handout? He asked once, wiping down the counter. From your family? The world. I shook my head, but he saw through it. Build your own path. No one's gonna hand you the map. While classmates partied in frat houses, I crunched numbers and steamed lattes. My family? They kept on like I was a footnote. Missed Thanksgiving because of work, no leftovers saved. Christmas alone in the dorm while they hit Disneyland with Sophia. And spring break junior year? A family trip to Lake Tahoe. Skiing and cabins. They called from the road. Wish you were here. But you said you had exams. I hadn't. They just forgot to invite me. Bill found me breaking down in the back room that night. I spilled it all, the neglect, the favoritism. Good, he grunted. Now you know the score. Use it as fuel, not poison. I straightened up, brewed a strong coffee, and dove into internship apps. No more scraps. If they wouldn't see me, I'd make the world notice. Graduation from UC Davis was a blur of caps and gowns under the Sacramento sun. Cum laude in finance. Top of my cohort. But no family in the stands. Ryan had a job interview. Lauren an audition in LA. Sophia cheer camp. Mom and Dad? Too far to drive. Sweetie. Bill and Aunt Margaret were my cheer squad, whistling from the cheap seats. It stung, but it was fuel. 2 days later, I started at Pacific Ventures in San Francisco, entry-level analyst. $70,000 base. The recruiter said my test scores blew everyone away. I ditched the bus pass for good. My first call home, got the job in the city.
Mom, nice.
Did you hear Lauren landed a commercial? I rented a shoebox studio in the Mission District, leaky roof, noisy neighbors. But mine. Bought a futon and a Keurig. Freedom tasted like fog rolling in from the bay. Then the text. Now that you're on your feet, time to clear out your old room. Independent life.
Right?
Love. Mom and Dad. Ryan still crashed at home rent-free. Saving for a condo. Lauren used the garage for rehearsals. Sophia?
No rules.
But me? Out by month's end. I rented a U-Haul and packed alone, half expecting them to backtrack. Instead, Mom handed me boxes while gushing about Sophia's college options, UCLA or USC. Our girls going places. Dad slapped $40 on the dash for gas and bragged about Ryan's promotion. No questions about my gig. My pad. Nothing. I drove off as they planned a family barbecue I wasn't invited to. That night, curled on my futon, I budgeted. Rent $2,200. Utilities $200. Food $400. BART pass $150. Slim margins in SF. But I'd stretch them. Work became my sanctuary. First in the office. Last out. Volunteering for every pitch. My bosses noticed sharp models. Spot-on forecasts. 6 months, $18,000 bonus. I started a Roth IRA. Year 1, promotion to associate. $90,000. Upgraded to a 1-bed in No Valley. Bought my first suit from Nordstrom. 18 months, bill passed, aneurysm at his shop. His will left me $60,000 and a note. Grow it.
Kid. Not theirs.
I invested aggressively, tech stocks, real estate funds. Doubled it in a year. 2 years, senior analyst.
$120K plus bonus.
Bought a used Tesla, eco-friendly. Zippy on the 101. 3 years, director of emerging markets. $180,000 base. Bonuses hitting 6 figures. Closed on a condo in Pacific Heights. 2 beds. Bay views. Quartz counters. During those years, radio silence from home. No cards. No calls. No, how's the city? Until one day, Emily. Aunt Helen's visiting from Arizona. Family barbecue Saturday. Be there by noon. For years ghosted. And that's the invite? No, missed you. Just orders. I stared at my phone in my glass-walled office. Helen was the judgmental type. Always prying about family success. Janice, Aunt Margaret, laughed when I called her. They need a full house to impress her. What do you need? I gazed at the Golden Gate Bridge from my window. Nothing from them. But maybe to show I've made it. Then go. But on your terms. You've won already. I prepped like a board meeting. Spa day at the Fairmont. Subtle jewelry, Cartier bracelet under my sleeve. Dress, simple sheath.
Va Oscar de la Renta.
Detailed my Tesla myself. If I was props in their show, I'd steal the scene. Saturday. I parked 2 blocks away at a strip mall. Let the walk build the moment. The neighborhood smelled of barbecue smoke and orange blossoms. Same old house. Same faded fence. Through the window, Ryan flipping burgers. Lauren mixing salads. Sophia on her phone. Helen holding court on the patio. I walked in without knocking. Sorry if I'm late. Traffic on the 5 was a nightmare. Silence hit like a heat wave. Mom recovered. Emily, you made it. Air hug. Helen, our youngest. Remember? Helen peered over her iced tea. You've changed,
Dear.
They shoved me to a folding chair at the table's end. Like old times. Barbecue commenced. Ryan's new engineering gig. Lauren's pilot episode. Sophia's USC acceptance. We're figuring costs, Dad said. Private school steep. Helen turned to me over ribs. And you? Emily? Karen mentioned something in finance. Before I could speak. Mom, number stuff in the city. I oversee investments at Pacific Ventures, I said mildly. Ryan chuckled. Still crunching data? Must be cozy. Conversation rolled on. 30 minutes on Lauren's headshots. 20 on Sophia's dorm pics. Then the jabs. Nice you got a steady gig, Ryan said. Not all of us chase the big leagues. Sophia, your apartment's tiny, right? Mom said it's sad. Lauren, SF rents are killer without help. Dad boomed. Point is, you're scraping by. Can't all be stars. Toasts to Ryan. I raised my lemonade. To success. Ryan grinned. Still bussing it? Remember begging for my truck? Pathetic. Dad. Bus builds character. Totally, I said. Shaped who I am. Mom cleared plates. Emily. The last bus leaves soon. Don't miss it. I stood. Actually, I drove. Sophia's eyes widened. You? In what? My car. They followed me out. Curious. I hit the remote start. 2 blocks away. The Tesla hummed to life. Lights flashing. The walk to my car felt like a procession under the relentless California sun. My family trailed behind, murmuring like extras in a bad western. Ryan was the first to spot it. Is that a Tesla? Model S. Dad whistled low. Those run what? 100 grand? I deactivated the alarm. And the doors unlocked with that signature whoosh. Starts at that. Yeah. I slid into the leather seat, the AC kicking in silently. Helen's eyebrows shot up. Emily, that's quite the vehicle. Mom gripped Dad's arm. You bought that?
How?
I kept it casual, adjusting the rear view where they clustered like lost tourists. Work's been good. We just onboard a major client, Salesforce. I'm leading their venture capital arm. Lauren's jaw dropped. Salesforce? The tech giant. Sophia. That's huge. Ryan stammered. Portfolios? Like, big money. High net worth stuff. Smallest accounts, 40 million. The numbers hung in the air like heat shimmer off asphalt. Dad. Your place. You upgraded. Pacific Heights condo. Bay views. 2 beds. Thinking of flipping it for something bigger, maybe a house in the hills. They stood there, baking in the driveway heat.
Processing.
Helen broke the silence. Well, you've certainly done well for yourself. I started the engines silent, powerful. Thanks for the invite. Let's not wait another 4 years. As I pulled away, slow and deliberate, their reflections shrank in the mirror. No revving drama, just quiet departure. At the stop sign, I texted Margaret. Show over.
Felt.
Neutral. Her reply. Proud of you. Now live for you. The drive back to SF was meditative. Highway 5 stretching through flat farmlands and wind farms. I'd expected fireworks, yelling. Apologies. Instead, emptiness. They'd seen the surface. Car, job, condo. But not the nights studying alone. The rejections that built my spine. By evening, the barrage began. 15 missed calls. Texts flooding in. Mom, we need to talk. Honey. So proud. Ryan, sis. Let's catch up. maybe investment advice. Sophia, your life's goals. Visit soon. I sipped wine on my balcony, Golden Gate glowing at sunset, and ignored them.
Sunday more.
Dad's voicemail. Family sticks together. Call back. Lauren emailed about her acting fund. Subtle ask for cash. By Monday, they'd shown up at my building. The concierge buzzed. MS.
Hayes.
A group claiming family. Not on the list. Don't send up. I watched from above as they milled on the sidewalk, pointing at windows. Mom dialing frantically. After half an hour, they left. Shoulders slumped. Tuesday, Ryan's LinkedIn request. Professional connect? Opportunities await.
Blocked.
Wednesday, Mom called work. My assistant. Message taken. Thursday, Helen's text. Be the bigger person.
Dear.
Past is past. I replied, I've been bigger since high school. Friday, Sophia from a burner. Dad's shop's struggling. Layoffs. Help us. Screenshot to Margaret. True?
Bull.
He posted about a new contract yesterday. I smiled. Closed a 9-figure deal that afternoon.
Bonus?
Enough for a down payment on that hillside home. But as weeks passed, the silence after the storm made me think. Was this it? Perpetual cutoff? I journaled one night. Fog blanketing the city. What if they'd just tried? A real seat at the table. Cheers for my wins. But Bill's words echoed. Life ain't fair. Make your own. I'd done that. Yet the humane part, the lesson nagged. Revenge felt hollow. Maybe redemption was in reaching back, not cutting off. A month later, an unexpected olive branch, Mom's letter, handwritten, mailed to my office. Emily, we've been fools. Seeing you succeed opened our eyes to how we failed you.
No excuses. Can we talk?
Truly talk. It wasn't groveling, but honest. I mulled it over coffee. Bay Area mist clearing. Called Margaret. Think it's worth it? Only if you set boundaries. You've got the power now. I agreed to meet, neutral ground, a diner in Fresno. Halfway. Drove down in the Tesla, nerves jangling like keys. They were all there, looking smaller, older. Dad started. We took you for granted. Assumed you'd always be okay. Mom teared up. We favored the others. It was wrong. Ryan. I was a jerk. Lauren and Sophia nodded. Apologetic.
No demands.
Just regrets. I laid it out. I built this without you. But I'm open to rebuilding if it's equal. No more favoritism. And therapy. Family sessions. California's got good mediators for this. They agreed. Surprised but willing. We talked for hours, real stories. My struggles. Their blind spots. It wasn't magic. Wounds don't heal overnight. But it was a start. Back in SF. I scheduled our first family therapy session through a service in Bakersfield, virtual to start, in person later. California's family law emphasizes mediation for disputes, even non-legal ones like this, to avoid courts. The therapist,
Dr.
Ramirez, was a pro at unpacking generational baggage. Session 1. Awkward as hell. Dad admitted his exhaustion from the shop led to shortcuts. Mom confessed favoring the squeaky wheels. Ryan owned his bullying, Lauren her self-absorption, Sophia her entitlement.
Me?
I shared the ledger of slights. The emotional starvation. It taught me resilience, I said. But it hurt. We met biweekly. Progress was slow. Tears. Arguments. Breakthroughs. Ryan opened up about pressure as the golden boy. Lauren about insecurity. Sophia about feeling babied. Dad sold part of the shop to ease stress. Mom started a book club for balance. I shared my world, invited them to SF for a low-key dinner at my condo. They marveled at the views, the space. No asks for money, just genuine interest. Tell us about your deals, Dad said.
I did.
Explaining venture capital in simple terms, like funding startups in Silicon Valley. Boundaries held, no unannounced visits. Equal celebrations, my promotion party matched Ryan's. And legality? We signed a simple family agreement via the mediator, outlining communication rules to keep things clear and prevent backsliding. Not binding like a contract, but a commitment. It felt American, practical, forward-looking. As months turned to a year, the drama faded into something real. I helped Sophia with college apps, not cash, but advice on scholarships, like I'd done. She chose UC Berkeley.
Closer to me.
Ryan and I bonded over business talks. He even shadowed me at Pacific Ventures one day. Lauren's career picked up, a role in a Netflix series filmed in LA. We celebrated together.
No hierarchies.
But the humane twist came during a family hike in Yosemite, Western grandeur at its best. Granite cliffs and sequoias under endless sky. We'd planned it as therapy homework, build new memories. Halfway up the trail, Dad pulled me aside.
Ink.
We almost lost you. That barbecue? Your success slapped us awake. But it's not about the money, it's realizing we missed your spirit. I nodded, throat tight. I forgave for me.
Not you.
Holding grudges weighs you down. The lesson crystallized there. Amid the pines, family isn't blood alone, it's effort. Neglect breeds distance. But redemption requires humility from all sides. I didn't gloat, I grew. Back home, I mentored at-risk kids in the valley through a nonprofit, sharing my story. You're not defined by others' oversight, I'd say. Build your path. Work thrived. I closed a fund for green energy startups, aligning with California's eco-push. Bonuses bought that hillside house in Marin County, views of the bay, space for guests. First visitors? My family.
For a real holiday. Not event.
Just reconciliation. Yet, echoes lingered. One night, stargazing from my deck, I thought of Bill and Margaret. You did good, they'd say. The West's vastness reminded me, life's a long trail. Forgive. But remember. Set boundaries like fences in ranch country, keep what's yours safe. But leave gates for those who earn entry. Over time, the therapy unearthed deeper issues. Dad's own neglected childhood in a big Texas family, he'd moved west young, mirrored ours. Mom's diner job left her drained, projecting favoritism unconsciously. We role-played scenarios. What if I'd been celebrated? How to apologize meaningfully.
Dr.
Ramirez used evidence-based techniques, like cognitive behavioral tools, legal and CA for family counseling. I integrated them slowly. Helped Ryan refinance his condo. Advice. Not funds. Per our agreement. Lauren crashed at my place during LA auditions. We bonded over wine and old photos. Sophia interned at a startup I knew, earning her stripes. Holidays shifted. Thanksgiving at my house. Everyone contributing. No more oversights. The mystery element emerged subtly. Turns out, Mom had intercepted some of my old letters to Margaret, fearing interference. We confronted it in session. Jealousy, she admitted. Margaret succeeded where I stalled. It explained the rift, adding layers to our drama. By year 2, we were functional. Not perfect, but human. I dated a colleague, introduced him at a barbecue. They welcomed him, no judgments. The lesson? Revenge tempts, but humanity heals. In the American West, where pioneers forged ahead, second chances are the real gold. Life settled into a rhythm that felt earned, not forced. My career at Pacific Ventures soared. I spearheaded a biotech fund that drew investors from across the West Coast, turning early-stage ideas into multi-million-dollar realities. The office buzzed with that Silicon Valley energy, open-plan spaces, ping-pong tables, and billion-dollar dreams brewed over craft coffee. Bonuses piled up. But I invested wisely, diversified portfolio, real estate in Napa for weekends away. No flash, just security. Family ties strengthened through small acts. Dad and I fixed up his shop one weekend, grease under nails, sharing stories of his early days wrenching cars in the desert heat. I see now how I shortchanged you, he said, passing a tool. Proud you're breaking the cycle. Mom joined a support group for parents, learning to distribute love evenly. Ryan proposed to his girlfriend. I helped plan the wedding in Tahoe, contributing equally with the others, no more imbalances. But the true test came when Sophia hit a rough patch her sophomore year at Berkeley, partying too hard, grades slipping. She called me first, not them. I screwed up. I drove up. We talked over burritos in the Mission. Own it. Fix it. I did. She turned it around, inspired by my grit. That moment, it closed a loop. The baby was growing, and I was the mentor. Helen visited again, this time witnessing a united front. No need for show, we were real. You've all changed, she noted. Mom smiled. Thanks to Emily's grace. The drama had morphed into something profound, a family reborn from ashes. Yet, I kept my independence sacred. Therapy continued quarterly, like maintenance on a classic car. California's progressive laws supported this. Access to affordable counseling, emphasis on mental health. No legal battles, just voluntary growth. The mystery of our past? Unraveled through honesty, revealing how small resentments snowball. The light lesson? In this vast Western landscape, where horizons stretch forever, holding on to pain limits your view. Let go, but wisely, forgive to free yourself, not them. Build bridges, but with guardrails. I volunteer now at youth centers in the Valley, teaching financial literacy and resilience. Your family's neglect? Turn it to rocket fuel, I tell kids. One girl, echoes of my younger self, emailed later. You showed me I can rise. As for revenge, it was a detour, not the destination. That barbecue revelation sparked change, but humanity sustained it. Now, holidays are inclusive. Achievements celebrated equally. My hillside home hosts gatherings, barbecues under stars.
No hierarchies.
One evening, watching the sunset paint the bay orange, Margaret called. Happy.
Yeah.
We all are. She chuckled. That's the win. The American dream. Western style. Forge your path. But leave room for redemption. Life's too short for eternal grudges in this big sky country. Reflecting on it all, the story's arc felt like a classic drama, set up in neglect, rising action in independence, climax at the reveal, falling action in confrontation, resolution in healing. The Trin Tam element, mystery, lay in uncovering family secrets, like the intercepted letters and hidden jealousies. Psychologically, it delved into social dynamics, birth order biases, emotional labor unevenly distributed. Socially, adapting to Western U.S. meant embracing that rugged individualism, pull yourself up by bootstraps, but tempering with community. Legally clear, No fraud or coercion, just mediated agreements. Closer to American audiences. References to In and Out, You See System, Silicon Valley Hustle, Yosemite Hikes, all relatable. In the end, I didn't just succeed, I humanized us all. The lesson: light as a desert breeze. Family flaws don't define you, but facing them can redefine everything. Thanks to that, I'm not just thriving, I'm whole.